into the back of the net. Medina! Go for the birthday boy! Goal!
From UW-Milwaukee Panther Arena in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's the Major Arena Soccer League today. The Milwaukee Wave hosting the Orlando SeaWolves. And a pleasant good afternoon to everyone. Tom Wynn along with the Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer greeting you from the black turf at the UWMP. Well, Art, our first home meeting against the SeaWolves this year. We played them twice in Orlando, split a couple of games. They've been a pretty competitive team in their first year. A lot of holdovers from their previous couple seasons in Cedar Rapids, but they've been a tough team. They're hanging in the playoff race. Tough weekend schedule for them, though. They had a game in Kansas City last night, and now quick turnaround while the Wave has been resting up here in Milwaukee. So it's going to be a tough game for the SeaWolves, but I'm sure the Wave is not taking anything for granted.
No, this is a team that's going to come out and battle. We saw it last night in Kansas City, down 2-0 at halftime. The SeaWolves rally and come out with a 7-5 win. 4 restart goals last night for the SeaWolves. Richard Schmerman, the St. Louis native, 3 direct shots on the restarts, 1 assist to Gordy Gerson. Kid Dynamite, number 3, is another guy to watch for the SeaWolves, Gordy Gerson.
No question about it. Gerson has had his success against the Wave and everybody else in the MASL in the past, and he's going to be a tough responsibility for who's ever marking him. Okay, meanwhile, the Wave at 15-3, 6-1 here at home, and coming off a great road trip, Art, winning 4 of 5, limiting their 4 opponents in the 4 wins to just 2 goals. Josh Lemos is definitely back.
Yeah, it's been impressive, and what I think is most impressive has been the ability of this team, and actually the ability of the coaching staff, Giuliano Oliviero, Marcelo Fontana, to get these guys to buy in defensively. We know the Wave has got many offensive talents, but their commitment to defense, and you said it on that road trip, has been impressive, and it really has been the catalyst to them becoming 15-3.
Wave with the second best record in the Major Arena Soccer League, number 2 to the San Diego Sockers, of course, in the Western Conference. So stay with us, fans. It should be a great one here today from Panther Arena in Milwaukee. The Wave against the Orlando SeaWolves. We're coming back with more. This is Wave Soccer and MASL TV. And so we are just about set to go here from Panther Arena in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Tom Wynn along with the Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer as the Wave hosts the Orlando SeaWolves. And a pleasant good afternoon wherever you may be in the city of Milwaukee, the state of Wisconsin, the Orlando metro area, the state of Florida, the United States of America, the North American continent, the planet Earth, the International Space Station, or worlds beyond. Welcome one and all. And Art, we'll see what we've got here today. A very fatigued Orlando team going up against a well-rested Wave squad.
Well, that win last night against Kansas City certainly should provide Orlando with some energy. But as you said, Tom, played last night, 7:30 start time in Kansas City. Got on the vans after the game, 8.5-hour trip to Milwaukee. Arrived this morning about 7:30 this morning. Got a couple winks, and here they are.
Well, certainly to a credit to them, as everybody else in the MASL plays a tough, grueling schedule. And by the way, these guys are not taking charter flights between games. Ball knocked out of bounds. And thought it might be a top of the arc restart for the Wave. No, they will play it in from there. Marcio Leite to play it in. Wave going left to right as we look at the action here on the black turf of Panther Arena. Crowd still filing in. Very, very, very busy sports Saturday here in Milwaukee, not to mention The St. Patrick's Day Parade taking place just before today's game right here downtown. Foul going to be called on the SeaWolves, dressed in yellow with the O-Town jerseys.
St. Patrick's Day Parade. Is today St. Patrick's Day?
No, not till next week, but I guess next week was the rain date. So they had it today. But you have Marquette hosting Georgetown in their regular season finale just down the block at the Fiserv Forum. And then tonight, Admirals taking on the Grand Rapids Griffins here, and the Bucks hosting the Charlotte Hornets at Fiserv Forum. Take your choice. If you're a Milwaukee sports fan, doesn't get better than that.
And here we are at the UWM Panther Arena.
Josh Lemos, the goalkeeper for the Wave, sends it down. Josh in tremendous form, especially on the recent road trip where he helped limit opponents to 2 goals or less in 4 of the 5 games. Rafa Diaz did the business in Baltimore in the 5-2 victory, and then after that, Josh took over. Lemos 10-0 this year, and he is among the league leaders in both goals against average and save percentage. Josh at 3.90, number 2 in the league to San Diego's Boris Pardo as far as goals against average, and a 720 save percentage, which puts him 6th in the league. His counterpart today is Heiner House. Heiner, who is split goalkeeping duties today, or this year, I should say, with Orlando. But actually, as I look down there, Art, is that Heiner or is that Peter Sliwa?
That looks like Peter Sliwa in the nets.
Yeah, I thought House was anointed the starter, but it's Peter Sliwa. So Sliwa, the 33-year-old veteran in his 3rd MASL season, came over to the SeaWolves after 2 years with the Florida Tropics. So Sliwa was in the nets last night, played an excellent game in Kansas City, and helping the SeaWolves defeat the Kansas City Comets 6-4, come from behind victory for the SeaWolves last night. They come in at 7-8, and a very impressive 5-3 mark on the road as Sliwa plays that one out of bounds.
And a little discussion now between Rich Grady and Ryan Sigich, the referees, as to whether that ball went straight into the net or went off the plexiglass and then out of play.
Well, it looked like from here that it climbed the glass, but they're a lot closer, the referees are, to seeing it. So Ryan and Rich aren't going to miss too much, to the finest veteran officials in this league. And the Wave will get a top-of-the-arc restart. Max Ferdinand on the approach. He'll step over Marcio. Behind him, Marcio looks near side. Shot, Drew Ruggles, and a save made by Sliwa. Good read by Sliwa there to stop Ruggles on the short side. And meanwhile, foul called on the SeaWolves. Richard Schmerman gets called for the foul. There you go, look at Schmerman, the 6-year veteran, St. Louis native, who posted the hat trick with an assist last night. Take a look one more time on the Wisconsin Vision Instant Replay. And none too subtle in that push to Ruggles up against the boards.
Well, he's lucky that wasn't a handball. That would have been a little bit closer to the goal. But you see Elmo Neto, the shorter guy in the wall right there, not too happy with the call so far. I don't think Elmo got a lot of sleep last night.
No, probably not. Max to Ian, and Bennett's shot rejected. Max tried to get it back. Dug out by Cruz for the SeaWolves. Turn around, here they go. That's Kevin Naranjo. Naranjo, a rookie with the SeaWolves this year. Ball played in, and Lemos is able to scoop that one up.
Let's talk about the travel, Tom. You know, a lot of people say, well, back-to-back games, and they're going to have heavy legs. And this isn't outdoor soccer, outdoor 90-minute game. And I know as a former player, you would feel the effects of playing 90 minutes, an outdoor game. This is about 20 minutes of anaerobic work, which...
Shot by Bennett, rides high. Ian, the Waves' leading scorer, with 37 points, and the league's leading goal scorer with 31. Go ahead, Art.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's a piece of cake, right? 20 minutes of anaerobic work. but you times that by 2, and I think the whole tired approach because of the back-to-back games is really overrated. And I'm just saying that as a former player. We used to play 3 games in 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. And we've talked for years, Art, about how the team, oftentimes a team with the quick turnaround is going to get their legs a lot sooner than a team that's been lying up. Now, of course, that's sooner at the start of the game. As the game wears on, typically the rested team will be in a little better shape, physically, leg-wise, going down the stretch. But at least at the beginning.
What really makes this difficult for Orlando was the travel that they had to endure last night, because try sleeping on a van 8.5 hours from Kansas City to Milwaukee. That's the hard part.
That would be extremely difficult, although it's many years during your playing career, it was done before.
You know, it's funny, last week they played the Wave, they got beat, they turned around, they played against Florida, and they were getting beat badly in the first half and kept hearing heavy legs, heavy legs. They brought it back to 6-5 in the second half, and now you're not hearing anything about the fatigue factor in the second half.
Well, I thought you made a good point, Art, when you said the victory last night in Kansas City is going to provide some additional energy to the SeaWolves today, and that's typically the way it works in sports. Now Ruggles, 3-on-3 in the zone. As I said, Ruggles, that's Chino. Chino fires one in, and a nice kick save by Sliwa. Chino battling to get it back at midfield. That's Osvaldo Rojas, number 77. Playing it upfield, Lemos with it for the Wave.
You mentioned Josh Lemos, 10-0 so far in the season. Has there ever been an indoor keeper, Tom, that has posted double-digit wins and went undefeated?
Danny Waltman in 2014-15 for Kansas City. That's the only one I can think of. And of course, the only reason I know that is because Kansas City was undefeated that year at 20-0. The only undefeated regular season in MASL history. And it was the first year of the MASL.
Danny Waltman, who now plays for Tacoma in the MASL. And by the way, did you see Sonaldo last night against Turlock late in the game? Standing on his head.
Yes, he was. Final score in that game, Tacoma won it 9-5, but it was much closer than that down the stretch. And no, you're absolutely right. And I'll tell you, despite the way we disparage the Tin Shed in Turlock as a professional arena soccer venue, for the opposition in a close game, there can be no tougher place to play than that place, the Turlock Indoor Center.
Sonaldo in goal with the injury to Danny Waltman this season. By the way,
giveaway, Renault for Chino, and somehow Sliwa got back to cover up.
Well, great start to the game so far for Peter Sliwa. He's made 3 or 4 fantastic saves here.
Well, he may have to single-handedly try to keep the SeaWolves in it today. Bennett trying to get around a couple of defenders, had it knocked away. Now Ian circling, lays it off. Here's Drew Ruggles, puts it to Robert Renault, shot and a goal. Oh, great look there by Ruggles to Renault. If there was a second assist, Ian Bennett would have had it. Wave leads it 1-0.
Good combination play that time by the Wave. You called it. Bennett, Ruggles, and Renault. And a nicely weighted ball this time by Drew Ruggles. Watch him right there, right through the legs of the defender. Watch one more time, Tom. Number 21, right through the legs. He finds Renault at the back post for the early Wave lead.
Robert gets his 10th of the season as he now has a total of 20 chart. And Drew Ruggles with the assist. Drew gets his 6th helper. Also has 10 goals for 16 points. Media timeout on the field. And we will keep it right here.
That was Edwin Rojas, number 21, who got to keep those legs closed there defensively.
The MASL now has a podcast. You can join host Craig Elston, voice of the San Diego Sockers, as he talks to players, officials, and coaches from across the league. and takes you behind the scenes of the MASL. Check out MASLsoccer.com to listen to past episodes and subscribe to the official MASL podcast. And outside of being on the wave, the best way to know what's happening in the MASL is to tune in to Kick This. Every weekend, Soccer Sam discusses the ins and outs of all the MASL action. Find Kick This every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on iHeart Radio.
Speaking of Craig Elston and the San Diego Sockers, Tom, what a buzz is happening right now in San Diego. Already had one of the best teams in the MASL, but with the addition of Landon Donovan, that arena has been rocking in the 2 games that he's played.
Yeah, absolutely it has. Craig, of course, has had the pleasure to call the Sockers games the last several years, and now with Landon Donovan on the team. And got to say, they are probably the favorite to win in the Western Conference, although I would not go to sleep on Monterey. And by the way, the Flash in their last 3 games, Art, I believe it is, have outscored their opponents 13-0. So Monterey can still put the hammer down when they want to, led, of course, by the redoubtable Frank the Tank Teyu, who is second in the league, 1 goal behind Ian Bennett for the league's goal-scoring leadership with 30.
And this is really the carrot for the Wave right now. We talked about the South Central Division Championship, but they were trying to get their best record in the league. And I know there's a lot of people in this league that have already given that to San Diego, but San Diego's still with a tough schedule in front of them here to finish the season. They got a couple with Ontario, they played Tacoma, and then they finished the season with Monterey and RGV, which is not going to be an easy task there. So still some work to do for the Sockers here to get the best record in the league and that home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
There's Mario Alvarez spinning around, and a shot save made by Lemos. Well, a nice little move there by Alvarez, and a good low shot. Lemos went down to make the save. Josh with his best save so far today. Milwaukee spreading it out in the back as they bring it up. Well, among the top 4 or 5 teams in the MASL, Art, I still think either one of them could potentially claim the championship. The division leaders right now, the Wave and Utica in the East. Utica with a 1-game lead over the 3-time defending champ Baltimore Blast in the East Division. Wave, by the way, will not only clinch a playoff spot, but clinch the division title with a victory today. So Milwaukee trying to see if they can at least nail down the #1 seed in the East for the postseason. And then you've got San Diego in the Pacific Division, Monterey in the South Central with RGV giving them some competition. But anyway, among the 4, 5, 6 top teams in the league, wide open as far as who might eventually go on to win the Ron Newman Cup this year.
Well, we've seen this for years, Tom, and you know it. You get into the playoffs with the format the way it is, it's anybody's game, home field or not. I mean, you look at Baltimore, Utica. You want to predict who's going to win that series when they get there? And you can go division by division, and you can say the same thing.
Marcio with a good job to bring the possession in the zone. Now here's Guilherme Vega. Guilherme in his 5th indoor season. Former star at Union University in Jackson, Tennessee, which is same collegiate place where Orlando goalkeeper Heiner House, not the starter today, played his college soccer. Both Guilherme and House hail from Brazil. Knocked out of bounds that time by Vega on a nice play defensively.
Orlando's a team, Tom, that likes to pressure high up the field, but the schedule this weekend has really forced them to play a drop-back style, and it's really served them well. Served them well last night in Kansas City. They did not get stretched out. They got really stretched out against Florida the previous weekend, pressuring them at home.
Yeah, I saw that game last night. I thought their strategy was excellent, and their execution was very good.
Whenever you score 4 restart goals, it's going to make everything look good. I mean, during the run of play 5v5, they didn't get much going at all. They had an empty net goal and 4 restarts and then 1 other.
Chino made the nice play for Milwaukee to regain the possession. Now Vega tried the right footer, deflected away. But we got a foul against Orlando. That's going to be Osvaldo Rojas getting called for the foul, his first in this half. In the MASL, you get 3 personals in each half. Your 4th personal results in a blue card for your team. LSO Luan Salas Oliveira puts it in, gets the pass over to Bennett. Ian with a left foot shot, turned away by Sleva. Now Hain with the rebound, turning shot, Bennett following, Ian again, save, rebound, follow, score! The big guy, Andre Hain, pounds one into the back of the net. Wave leads it 2-0.
The Wave with a virtual shooting gallery there, finally getting one past Sliwa. Good job by Orlando to block shots in front of Sliwa. But then the big man, watch this finish here after the rebound from Bennett. Watch this one. Kaboom!
That's where you test the back of the net, then a shot like that. Well, good persistence by Ian, though, to initially keep the play going, as well as Andre. And those 2 guys were just going to keep it up until they finally scored, as Andre finishes it off.
Once again, number 21, Edwin Rojas, wanted no part of that full volley by Andre Hain, but...
Well, I don't blame him, but again...
Yeah, you don't blame him, but if you want to make the playoffs, man, you got to take a little punishment. Make yourself big, square up to the ball, and block a shot.
Andre's 7th of the year at 11:39. Wave gets it back. Bradley lays it back. Renault, Robert, nice crossover. Lays it off far side. Oh, beautiful work there as LSO sets up Bradley. And Milwaukee leads it 3-0.
You talked about the second assist before that would have gone to Ian Bennett. How about this one by Robert Renault? Just totally takes the defense apart with a little soul roll with his right foot to the left and just creates the whole play. What combination play by the Wave. Just clinical passing and ball movement in the attacking third of the field. And Bradley there with a cup of tea at the back post.
So let's see. I want to say it was 19 seconds between goals there for Milwaukee. Well, we'll double check that at any rate. The Wave now with a 3-goal lead on the quick back-to-back goals by Hain and Bradley. And Milwaukee producing some beautiful goals here so far in the first period. SeaWolves trying to hang in there, but already trailing it 3-0. And the Wave definitely going to keep coming after him. You can bet on that.
You can point to the schedule and the fact that Orlando had to travel, but the Wave just coming out extremely sharp here in the first quarter.
Very impressive so far. Still got a few fans gathering in here, so if they miss those goals, they can check out the archives on MASL.tv. Hopefully there'll be a few more coming for Milwaukee today. Neto off the end board and smothered by Josh Lemos. Josh, as I said, 10-0 this year, 37-7 in his nearly 3 seasons with the Milwaukee Wave during the regular season.
Talking about Landon Donovan before, Tom, and as Craig Elston, the San Diego play-by-play broadcaster, likes to say, he opened his scoring account, his goal scoring account against Turlock the other day. 2 goals and 2 assists he added as well.
2 goals in the first couple of minutes, and yeah, if you were a bit late getting to Pechanga Arena, you would have missed Landon's first 2 MASL goals. Here's Andre Hain trying to center on the play. Broken up that time. Looked like Alvarez got a foot in it for the SeaWolves. Hurwitz tried to come out of there for Orlando, but the Wave able to break it up. Good hustle back by Leite. Hurwitz, one of 7 former members of the Cedar Rapids Rampage now playing with Orlando. He was just signed earlier this week, so he made his debut last night and actually scored a goal. Got the empty netter at the end for the SeaWolves. But he and Gerson, longtime teammates dating back to their college days at Robert Morris University down in Illinois.
Hurwitz just a tireless worker. I remember last year, Tom, we went to the playoff games. You really liked Bobby Hurwitz.
Yeah, absolutely. Tremendous work rate for that guy. Always had kind of a weird haircut, but nothing that affected his work rate, that's for sure. Final 30 seconds of the first period. Hayne will flip it to Marcio, try to get around the corner. Gaw is there to break it up for Orlando. Still time for the Wave as Chino has it at midfield. Now sends it to Alex Bradley in the corner. Alex, who has the Wave's most recent goal, back to Marcio, shot off the board, rebound, follow, Chino scores! Chino! And Milwaukee leads it 4-0.
Well, Sliwa, who had gotten off to a really good start in this game, really struggling on this one. Watch the initial shot. Sliwa has no idea where it's at. Hey, it's in front of you, and now it's behind you in the back of the net as Chino pounces on the rebound.
Marcio should get the assist as Angel Curiel Chino.
Not sure what Sliwa was doing. The ball hit the back wall, hit off his leg. He's looking behind him. If it's in the net, it's in the net. There's no reason to look back there. You're going to know the Wave's going to be celebrating. He's got his back turned. The ball's right in front of him. And Chino, with the goalie looking in the goal, says, here, you want me to put the ball for you there? You can get it out now.
I just don't think goaltenders can resist. It's just... that will do it for the first period. Great first period for that man and his team. Josh Lemos and the Milwaukee Wave jumping on top of the SeaWolves 4-0.
We had a vision of creating a sports medicine program from the grassroots level, from peewees to the pros. At Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital, we are taking care of athletes and getting them back on the field. Over 80% of the patients that come to see us for sports-related injuries do not need surgery. That really surprises people. We can relate to our patients because many of us have been there. Athletes like to say they give 110%. Well, guess what? So do we.
What did I get from my father? His spirit. I got his warmth, his understanding. What did I learn? His passion for helping others was for me everything I was meant to be.
While every agent's story is different, the promise is still the same. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The Ambassador, Milwaukee's landmark Art Deco hotel, is the official hotel of your Milwaukee Wave. Beautifully renovated and seamlessly appointed with every modern comfort. The Ambassador offers a bridge between the city's legendary past and its cosmopolitan present. A stay at the Ambassador is a stay at a warm, gracious home away from home, served by true ambassadors of hospitality. The Ambassador Hotel, the official hotel of your Milwaukee Wave.
My life's special moments, they've always had one thing in common. Eyewear from Wisconsin Vision. For over 40 years, Wisconsin Vision has been keeping my world in focus. When it comes to my eyes, there's no one I trust more. Now, it's time for the next generation to learn the Wisconsin Vision tradition.
Call to schedule a $49 eye exam and ask about $100 off a complete pair, frame and lenses. Wisconsin Vision. See more life.
Check it out. Hey, we could go down this waterfall, honey. What do you think? So beautiful.
You want some? It's good. It's refreshing.
SeaWolves.com.
4-0 Wave leads it as we get ready to start the second period here from Panther Arena. We got some of our dancing mermaids and pirates on hand here today. Well, great first period for the Wave, Art. Renault, Hain, Bradley, and Chino, the goal scorers, but some nice ball movement offensively by Milwaukee. And I'm sure, as Coach Oliviero stressed, let's take these guys from the beginning when perhaps they're still a little unsettled on their quick turnaround weekend here.
The Wave has had a lot of injuries this season. Guys have missed many games, and you see Robert Renault back, Andre Hain back. The Wave clicking on all cylinders in that first quarter. Marcio back in the lineup. This is a potent offensive team when they've got all their pieces.
Milwaukee had the most total goals in the MASL starting today's action. Came in with 129. So bump that up to 133, and they've only given up 76 goals. So they're plus 57 on the scoring margin right now, which is second best in the league behind San Diego. Wave is the third best defensive team.
And by the way, Tom, let's say it comes down to the tiebreaker for best record in the league. How do they determine who gets home field advantage? Is that goal differential at that point?
I believe it might be. So that could come into play. Here's Max. Try to go to Ian on the near side. He's pretty well marked over there. Vega at midfield, back for Bennett, and he'll flick it for Lemos. We should mention about the SeaWolves today. They are without Thiago Freitas, their second leading scorer, and what a play by Max! Got behind the defender and a cheeky little chip up and over Sliwa. Wave leads it 5-0.
I originally thought Ferdinand might have fouled the defender to get position, but once he got the ball in the position, Sliwa comes off his line a little bit. Max notices, and just a little side volley, ever so softly over the top of Sliwa, and already 5. Let's watch again. Couldn't see that first part of the play, but Sliwa not sure why he's that far off his line. He had recovery runners coming to help.
Expertly done by Ferdinand to get his 10th goal of the year. Max, the number 2 playmaker in the league with 23 assists, now with a total of 33 points on the year. So we've had 3 guys, Art, reach double figures for the season in goals today as Alvarez tees one up, save made Lemos, but right there to follow it in is Kid Dynamite, Gordy Gerson, and Orlando's on the board. It's 5-1. Anyway, 5 Wave players with 10 goals or more so far this year.
Orlando on the board. Alvarez with the initial shot. Good save by Lemos with the left hand, but Kid Dynamite right there on the doorstep with the rebound. Watch right there, Tom. I always laugh at this. Well, look at what Gerson does. He gets the ball, and he's going to run it back to the midline. Why do they do that indoors? I get it outdoor because the clock's running, but in indoor, the clock stops. You don't need to get the ball and run it back.
Well, again, I think it's probably just instinct for a goal scorer, right? If you've been doing it all your life outdoors, you come indoors, and hard to break that habit.
They should make a rule to say don't do that, because what it leads to is every so often the goalie takes offense to it. You get pushing and shoving with the guy trying to take the ball back. Hey, dude, the clock stopped, man, okay? It's not running on you. It's not going to run, hopefully. Hopefully Scotty Fellows down there running the time has got it stopped. There's no injury time.
No, that's true. That's very, very true. So after Ferdinand's 10th of the season at 137, Gordy Gerson comes back with the goal for Orlando to get them on the board. And for Gerson, his 24th of the year, also his 14 assists for 38 points. He was tied with Ian Bennett for number 5 in the league scoring race coming into today's game, and they each have a point today, so they are still tied for 5th place. Ian picked up an assist on a goal by Andre Hain before. There's Ian with a back heel trying to make the connection with either Bradley or Vandegrift. Couldn't do it. Hurwitz came away with it for Orlando.
Oh, too many men that time. Too many men on Orlando, absolutely.
That call usually made by one of the officials in the box. You see that Orlando protesting a bit. There's LSO for Milwaukee.
They're going to let him get away with it, but 2 men jumped on, and I understand that, well, didn't play the ball, but both guys, that was a bad change.
The original thought was too many men on the field. The officials see it another way, and it results in drop ball.
So,
and I know what they'll say, Tom, is that well, he wasn't involved in the play, but technically he was involved in the play because he jumped on the field. 2 guys. It was a bad change on their part.
Can they give a too many men bench warning? SeaWolves with it, wearing the yellow uniforms today, going left to right, foul at midfield. I think they're going to get Drew Ruggles for holding Gerson. Gordy Gerson, now in his 5th Arena League season, Art. That was his 156th goal in just his 99th game. And ever since he broke into the league in 2014-15 with the ill-fated Seattle Impact, who became the Tacoma Stars before the end of the season.
You may want to check that. He said last night on Facebook that was his 100th game last night.
Okay.
When he scored the goal. So it's right around that.
We'll go with Gordy on that. And speaking of 100 games, Coach Giuliano Oliviero celebrating his 100th game as coach of the Wave in their last outing, that 6-2 win in St. Louis. Giuliano now 71-29 career-wise as coach of the Wave. 2nd winningest coach in Wave history behind the legendary Keith Tozer.
Yeah, talking about Gordy Gerson, Tom, if you're an MASL defender, you need to know where Gordy Gerson is at all times, because the tendency for Gordy is he likes to get behind the defense.
Oh, giveaway there. Oh, my goodness. That is an amazing gift for Ian Bennett. He bangs it in. IB with his first of the day and his league-leading 32nd of the year in the Wave, back on top by 5 at 6-1.
And I'm not sure what Peter Sliwa is looking at his defender and complaining for, because that's just a poor touch by Sliwa. If you're Tom Traxler on that Orlando bench, Heiner House may want to be the call here. Watch right there. Poor touch with the outside of his foot. Yeah, not a very good ball by the defender and put Sliwa in a bad spot, but you got to have a better touch than that.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Again, I don't know if House is physically 100%, but he's typically played well against the Wave. We clearly expected him to play, to be the starter today against Milwaukee. And again, I'm not going to second guess Tom Traxler. Sliwa has been the regular since getting healthy, and he's played well for Orlando. But like I said, I think we were all anticipating House would get the play today with the quick turnaround for Orlando.
And as I mentioned, Sliwa came out and was brilliant to start the game. It's just really gone downhill late in the first quarter, and then certainly to start this quarter.
Well, sometimes goaltenders are like relief pitchers in baseball. You gotta figure out when they're maxed out and make the change. Andre, top of the area, rolls one in wide left. Of course, in baseball, you have a lot more guys to work with typically in a pitching staff. And speaking of baseball, Art, the Milwaukee Milkmen will begin their inaugural season in the American Association. May 16th in St. Paul against the Saints, and then the home opener at Routine Field in Franklin. That's at 76th and Loomis at the Rock Sports Complex. May 24th against the Chicago Dogs. Order your tickets at MilwaukeeMilkmen.com. You can also call the Rock Ventures office at 414-224-WAVE. That's 414-224-9283. That's, of course, the number to call for WAVE tickets and information.
What's the name of that park again?
Routine Field in Franklin.
Field, okay. They got a retractable roof like Miller Park?
I don't think it'll be ready this season.
All right.
But, you know, by May 24th, I believe the weather is going to be in suitable condition for some great baseball weather. And certainly we'll look forward to seeing all the fans out of the park this year. Look forward to seeing yourself, Art, as well. I know you're a big baseball fan. And love to come out to the ballpark, and should be a great year. And we haven't even talked about the Brewers and Cardinals yet and the continuing rivalry between those two teams.
And that National League Central should be something to watch this year. How about the Cardinals adding Paul Goldschmidt?
Yeah, I would think from a Brewer perspective, you only had to see that guy maybe 7 or 8 times a year the last several seasons. Now you're going to see him 19. Alex Bradley fanned on the attempted passer shot there. This one picked up by Gerson at midfield. Gerson with another guy with just a tremendous work rate. Foul going to be called on Ian Bennett as he was battling with Oswaldo Rojas for the ball. Oswaldo's number 77. Edwin Rojas is number 21 for the SeaWolves. He's also out there right now at a defender slot. They are not related, both Mexican natives, but not related to each other. But they did play together in Chicago with the Mustangs and in Cedar Rapids with the Rampage. So they have been longtime teammates, as well as with that man right there, number 89, Yoshio Sandoval, who has been teammates with them in all 3 places. So even though they're a first-year team, an expansion team, they have a lot of experience on this team and a lot of familiarity with each other. 1-2 there as Donajo tries to set up Gerson. He rolls one in wide left. Edwin Rojas with a shot that's rejected by Alex Bradley. Alex right now with the task of trying to mark Gordy Gerson. Hey, Alex has been a very flexible player for the Wave this year. He can play up front, play in the back. Done a great job at both spots for Milwaukee.
Another great addition by Wave General Manager Dan Kinsey. He's pulled all the right strings over the past few years with his player personnel moves.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And very impressive for Dan. He comes from a professional baseball background, but I'll tell you, he has quickly ascended to the top of the list of general managers in the Major Arena Soccer League.
Becoming the Theo Epstein of the MASL general managers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good analogy right there. Max trying to come out of there, had it poked away. They'll cycle it back to Sliwa.
Now, if only he could make Theo Epstein money.
Well, in a few years, who knows? Cruz to the near side I said Cruz. That's actually Mota. Luis Mota, number 12. Mota, a third-year player, third-year MASL veteran. And he'll track it back there. He played for Rio Grande Valley last year when they were 3-19. Actually had a pretty good year with 6 goals, 6 assists. RGV has certainly turned it around this year, going from the league's 2nd worst record to now 10-5 this year. They were actually tied with Turlock and St. Louis for the worst record in the league last year. RGV at 3-19.
And no surprise, anywhere Hinoni Martinez goes, that team wins.
Hinoni now the player coach for RGV, and no question about it, Art. He's done a masterful job at turning it around with, well, not only his own coaching and playing acumen, but certainly some good acquisitions there as well. I got to believe he's the primary player personnel guy down there.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say both RGV and St. Louis are just very impressive the way they've turned things around from their 3-19 seasons. Turlock appears to be headed for a similar campaign. They're 2-16 now, as Max is checked into the boards by Schmerman, foul called on Richard Schmerman. But Turlock much more competitive this year, it would appear, based on what we've seen on their games.
I've been impressed with Chris Hansler, who's the coach of Turlock. He's got a nice indoor soccer background, and he's just dealing with a lot of inexperience trying to figure out how to win games in the MASL.
Well, like we talked about, they haven't been much of a factor on the road, but playing in that building in Turlock, they are extremely difficult to beat. Ruggles with a nice move there. Drew trying to push up on a 3-on-3 and couldn't quite get the pass through to Renault as the SeaWolves break it up. Here's Elmo Neto. Neto, who turned 36 on January 1st. I guess that's the easiest way to remember anybody's birthday, right? If you're born New Year's Day. He'll He'll lay it back, and the SeaWolves will get organized here.
Elmo Neto, number 75 for Orlando, not to be confused with Adato Neto, the former Baltimore Blast star.
Adato Neto, a one-time MVP winner with the Blast, began his indoor career with the old Cleveland Force. So I remember when Elmo used to be with Syracuse, we referred to him as the poor man's Neto. But that was a pretty good acquisition by Orlando.
Well, Neto's got 5 goals, I believe, on the season, 4 power play goals. Might have added another marker or 2 since that, but had 4 power play goals.
Yeah, they've had a pretty impressive power play, 47%, one of the tops in the league this year. No penalties so far in today's game, as Chad Vandegrift will lay it back for Riccadino. Great to see Chad pick up a goal, his 3rd of the year, in front of the friends and relatives in St. Louis last week at Family Arena in St. Charles, the home of the St. Louis Ambush. Chad now in his 3rd season with Milwaukee, his 6th year of arena soccer. St. Louis native, so still has a lot of friends and relatives back there. Bradley trying to get past Schmerman. Bradley is knocked down and the foul is called. Good work by Alex to shield the ball from Schmerman, who picks up his 2nd foul. I'll tell you one thing, usually when Schmerman fouls you, Art, it's not a subtle foul, that's for sure. He plays the game very physically.
Schmerman, another St. Louis product.
St. Louis Community College.
McClure North High School, north side of St. Louis, opposite side of where I grew up.
What kind of teams did they used to have back in the day?
McClure?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
That was Billy Betcher country, former Harrisburg Heat star. No, North County soccer was really, really good.
Lemos with it for the Wave as we come down to 2:30 left to go here in the 2nd period. Milwaukee kicking off a 5 home games in 6-game stretch to close out the regular season. Wave will be right back here at the Panther Arena next Sunday, I should say, as they will be hosting the St. Louis Ambush. 1 o'clock game here at Panther Arena. Call the Wave office for tickets, 414-224-WAVE. Chino making a move there, but lost the touch, and now gets called for the foul in none too subtle fashion, grabbing down Elmo Neto.
How many consecutive wins over St. Louis is it now, Tom?
23.
Wow.
So the Ambush will be looking to break a 23-game losing skid against Milwaukee, I believe, which is the longest in arena soccer, one team to another. The revival of the Ambush occurred in 2013-14. They played the Wave 23 times, and they have yet to get a victory over Milwaukee.
What do you always say the odds are?
The odds are as Chino sets up Marcio on the Wave, leads it 7-1.
And the floodgates continue to be open here for the Wave in the 2nd quarter.
13-28 the time of the goal as Marcio picks up the goal. He also had a goal in his last outing at St. Louis. And for Marcio Liete, his 7th goal of the year. Had an earlier assist today, which was his 14th, so give him 21 points. And Chino will get the assist. Chino with a goal and an assist. Chino with 9 goals and 11 assists now this season.
So getting back to that St. Louis, you said 23 in a row, and so you like to always say, oh, the odds are.
The odds are, the odds are.
So let me ask you, so the odds are that St. Louis is eventually, you want to take St. Louis in that one? I'll take Milwaukee.
Well,
23 in a row. That's a streak.
That is indeed a streak. And but you know, the Ambush, this is clearly the best team that they've had. The addition of Justin Stinson and Zach Reggett, the Kenosha native, Stinson the St. Louis area native, has given them some speed and energy and just some dynamic appeal that they didn't have. And they've complemented it with a few other guys that Everton has brought in, and give Everton a lot of credit as well for turning around that team that was 3-19 last year, 1-19 the previous year. So a team that only combined to win 4 games the last 2 years has already won 9 this year.
Yeah, that coaching staff there in St. Louis has a real Milwaukee Wave feel to it. You got Everton, you got former assistant coach and Wave player Mark Litton, and you got Tony Shelby, who's a guy that's been around the Milwaukee soccer scene for quite some time. And then you throw in Jamie Swanner, the former goalkeeper of the year, indoor soccer goalkeeper of the year. Nice pedigree to that coaching staff.
By the way, you just may have seen the happy birthday announcement on the video board here at the arena. And one of the Wave players wishing everybody happy birthday was Hans Dennison, who's not in the active lineup today, but happy birthday to Hans, celebrating number 35 today. Oh, to be 35 again.
And know what you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Bennett with a shot. That one blocked. Alvarez at midfield. Takes it away, now lays it off. Sandoval coming in. Shot and a kick save and a beauty by Josh Lemos. What good crack that time by Sandoval on the run, and Josh with a nice save there. Final 35 seconds of the first half.
Solid half here by Giuliano's, Oliviero's Milwaukee Wave team. All facets of the game.
And of course, we'll try to catch up with Coach Oliviero before we break at halftime, so stay with us for that one, fans. But I gotta believe he is indeed gonna be very pleased. Shot by Cruz, partially blocked. Comes out to Bradley, 9 seconds left as the Waves still have some time. Alex pushing upfield on a 4-on-3. Plays over LSO. LSO fires a shot off the frame. Better with a follow. Shot and a goal!
Boy, that was really close, Tom. That was really close.
We'll go to the replay, I'm sure, to check it out, but all indications are that snuck in before the red light went on. And if it stands up, it would be Bennett's second of the half, and Milwaukee would have an 8-1 lead. Let's check it out one more time on the replay. Sliva getting a piece of it, but couldn't quite keep it out, although did he delay it enough time-wise to prevent it from counting?
They got .2 on the clock.
So, that will be a goal for Ian Bennett. IB now with a league leading 33.
Not sure how they could have, who saw there was .2 on it.
Well, Ian Thompson, our producer, said that one's going to count, and he's almost always right. So that'll do it for the first half. Boy, what a first half for the Wave. A goal at the buzzer, and Josh Lemos and the Wave going to the locker room at halftime with an 8-1 advantage. And we're going to stick around now to hear from Coach Oliviero as Van McNeil will try to gather him up here. But what a first half for the Wave. So it's Bennett from LSO at 15 minutes. Let's send it down to Van McNeil with Coach Oliviero.
This man recently had a birthday as well. 21 again, Coach, huh?
Hey, today I'm feeling it.
There you go. These guys are playing great. A dominant lead here going to the half. How do we keep up this momentum?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic first half. You know, we've been on the road for the past 5 games, and just to be in front of the best fans in the league, it really gets the guys going and ready to play. So it's been great so far. We want to keep it going.
All right, thank you, Coach. Milwaukee Wave head coach Giuliano Oliviero. He's a birthday boy, too. A birthday boy as well. Are we having fun here, Wave fans? More exciting Milwaukee Wave soccer is coming up. We have a very special halftime show for you coming up. We're live at UW Milwaukee Panther Arena.
My life's special moments, they've always had one thing in common: eyewear from Wisconsin Vision. For over 40 years, Wisconsin Vision has been keeping my world in focus. When it comes to my eyes, there's no one I trust more. Now, it's time for the next generation to learn the Wisconsin Vision tradition.
Call to schedule a $49 eye exam and ask about $100 off a complete pair, frame and lenses. Wisconsin Vision. See more life.
One-touch shot and goal!
That was arena soccer perfection.
With an absolute golazo!
As good a goal as you can see.
That was a heat-seeking missile.
The Ambassador, Milwaukee's landmark Art Deco hotel, is the official hotel of your Milwaukee Wave. Beautifully renovated and seamlessly appointed with every modern comfort. The Ambassador offers a bridge between the city's legendary past and its cosmopolitan present. A stay at the Ambassador is a stay at a warm, gracious home away from home, served by true ambassadors of hospitality. The Ambassador Hotel, the official hotel of your Milwaukee Wave.
What did I get from my father? His spirit. I got his warmth, his understanding. What did I learn? His passion for helping others was for me everything I was meant to be.
While every agent's story is different, the promise is still the same. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Oh, hey, sorry I didn't see you there. Just getting ready for the 2019 Milwaukee Milkmen season. Do you not recognize me yet? Van the Milkman McNeil. And speaking of milkmen, special delivery! The 2019 Milwaukee Milkmen opening season schedule is here. Trust me, it is pro baseball that is utterly different. Family fun for everyone, from different theme nights, delicious food, tasty beverages, and more. Check out the schedule. Get your tickets now at MilwaukeeMilkmen.com.
Check it out. Hey, we could go down this waterfall, honey. What do you think? So beautiful. You want some?
It's good. It's refreshing.
westernmutual.com.
We had a vision of creating a sports medicine program from the grassroots level, from peewees to the pros. At Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital, we are taking care of athletes and getting them back on the field. Over 80% of the patients that come to see us for sports-related injuries do not need surgery. That really surprises people. We can relate to our patients because many of us have been there. Athletes like to say they give 110%. Well, guess what? So do we.
This is a very exciting day in the history of the Sockers franchise and for the Major Arena Soccer League. What we're going to be doing here this morning is introducing Landon Donovan to the public. Seated to my left on the dais, we have the head coach of the San Diego Sockers, Phil Salvaggio. To Phil's left, we have the greatest U.S. soccer player, Landon Donovan, who I am now calling Soccer's rookie, Landon Donovan. And to Landon's left, we have our Director of Player Personnel, Cheeky Luna. I'd also like to recognize in absentia our General Manager, Sean Bowers. Sean could not be here this morning. He felt terribly sick with a stomach virus yesterday, had to be admitted to the hospital. Trust me when I tell you, Sean was invaluable in this entire operation. His vision in leading this from concept to reality and his negotiating, we would not be here if not for Sean. Sean wishes desperately he could be here with you this morning, and he passes along his regards. I'd like to welcome to the stage the president of the Major Arena Soccer League, Lane Davis, to offer a statement on behalf of the league.
On behalf of Major Arena Soccer League, Landon, very excited to have you play in our league. Phil and the entire San Diego Sockers organization on putting together such a fantastic partnership. Landon has been a tremendous ambassador of the sport for so many years. Our league is growing. We have 17 teams spread across 3 countries, the United States, Mexico, and Canada. And we look forward to what Landon and the Sockers organization can do for the entire MASL and bring this sport to another level. Thank you, Landon. Thank you, Sockers organization.
Well, my name is Phil Salvaggio, the head coach of the San Diego Sockers. I want to thank everybody for coming today and being part of this. This is a very special moment, not just for myself as well as the San Diego Sockers. The Sockers franchise has been around since '78. We've been an organization that's won 14 championships, and I think he's the guy to bring us to the 15th championship. And that's where we got to be at the end of this year. And with that being said, I'll say, yeah. Welcome to San Diego.
Vintage.
Actually, maybe not even a week ago, I received a text from a mutual friend of Craig and mine and that said, would you like the opportunity or perhaps entertain the thought of playing for the Sockers? And my first thought was maybe this was a joke of some sort. But it became clear that it was a very real question and offer. And I sat down with my wife that night and talked to her about it, and she said, you remember, I don't know if it was last year or maybe the year before when you went out and trained with the Sockers that morning in Encinitas. You came home and you wouldn't stop talking about how much fun it was. And I said, yeah, that's true, but going out for training and playing games is a little bit different. And she said, yeah, but you came home with a smile on your face that I hadn't seen in a long time. And I said, okay, well, let's think about it. And cut to today, and here we are. So Craig, with all his humility, won't admit, but he was the one who had the crazy idea, at least initially, to make this happen. Between Sean and Phil and the rest of the ownership group, to have the courage to do something outside the box. And I'm extremely excited about the opportunity to play indoor soccer here in my new hometown. I moved here 3 years ago with my wife and my family. As I said to someone yesterday, the Sockers were the first name and brand in the soccer world that I ever knew, because Major League Soccer wasn't around. I didn't grow up watching European leagues. So we grew up 2 hours north of here in Redlands. The Sockers name I had heard of because of their tradition and their history and their legacy. So to have the opportunity to live here, to have been part of this community, soccer community, very intimately for the last year and a half via Soccer City, and to meet so many of you, to have come and watched the Sockers play, I'm really excited for the chance to get out and play. I want to make something really clear to especially my teammates here and to Phil as the coach, not the owner. I'm here to win, and this is the best team in the league. They don't need a lot, but I hope that I can provide some leadership. There are certainly a lot of things I have to learn about the game and how it works from an indoor standpoint, but I think there's a lot of crossover. Soccer is soccer, and there's a lot of crossover that can certainly, I hope, help in the locker room and then on the field as well. So I'm excited about it, and I want to be here in May with all of you celebrating number 15.
Getting ready for the start of the second half here in Milwaukee as The Milwaukee Wave leads the Orlando SeaWolves 8-1. We're just picking up some of the highlights at the end of the half in which the Wave got a goal from Ian Bennett with 0.2 of a second remaining, and this is how it happened. The shot by LSO, Ian there to follow with a nice left-footed strike that eluded the goalkeeper, Peter Sliwa, and that's apparently going to be all for Sliwa. Heiner House has now entered the game for the Orlando SeaWolves. Tom went along with the Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer. Well, great first half for the Wave, Art, no question about it. We'll see if they can keep it going. I would think they're just going to be content to just try to play an even game and keep everybody healthy.
It was really good. As Giuliano Oliviero, their coach, said, it just was really good in the first half. Their composure on the ball over the past 2 years, Tom, has just been outstanding. So many good technical players out there, some great combination plays for goals in the first half. A lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great teamwork there offensively and pretty solid defense. And again, as we talked about, the Wave, not only the top offensive team in the league by total goals this year, Art, but one of the top 3 defensively as well. And in the second half of the season, starting with that road trip, they have really started to lock it down defensively. Just as I say that, of course, Osvaldo Rojas turns and scores to draw Orlando back within 6, 8-2. But again, Milwaukee has limited their opponents to just 2 goals in 4 of the last 5 games.
Good target play that time by Rojas. Gets himself into option 1, which is right in the center of the box. And Vandegrift overplayed it a little bit too much and allowed Rojas to turn to his right foot, and he beat Lemos to the short side there on the left side.
So Osvaldo Rojas picks up his 16th goal of the year. He is second on the Orlando team scoring list. Well, 3rd overall in points, but 2nd in goal scoring behind Gordy Gerson, who got the other Orlando goal in the first half to give him 24 in the year. Now, right after the kickoff, back they come. Hurwitz mishit one there as it looked like he was going to get a good chance. But now Naranjo with a shot and a nice save by Lemos. So all of a sudden, Orlando showing a little bit of life here to start the 3rd quarter.
And Orlando coming out with pressure high up the field here to start the second half.
Renault lays it back. Guilherme trying to get through, but Vega had it poked away. Ruggles will send it back downfield to Lemos. Didn't see who had the assist on Osvaldo Rojas' goal. Tell you, Rojas has got a big upper body. When he gets possession of the ball, he's a tough guy to get leverage on. Or he can get leverage on the defender, as you saw with Chad Vandegrift. Keep in mind, Chad is a pretty strapping young man himself at about 6'1", 190 pounds. But when Rojas gets position, he is a load to deal with.
And Chad just overcommitted a little bit too much. Just needed to keep Rojas where he was and not allow him to turn. But both Rojas and Elmo Neto, those target players, are good with their back to the goal, holding the ball up. Both kind of wide bodies. Allow them to get position.
Who was the widest wide-body target guy you can ever recall?
Well, Stamenkovic was pretty wide, but certainly Todd Nasoski is in that category. Anybody else come to mind for you?
Wad Hermes.
Yeah, Wad was.
He was almost as wide as he was tall. What was Waddy? maybe 5'8", and it seemed like he was just about as wide as he was tall. In fact, maybe the same size as your old buddy Ty Domi, the former NHL star. Well, NHL stalwart, perhaps, might be a better term. Back in the 80s and 90s.
Ty Domi.
Who, by the way, was, I think you had told me this, Art, one of the nicest guys off the ice you could meet.
His kid, Max Domi, playing for the Canadians now, is a good young player in the NHL.
Yeah. Shot by Alvarez, blocked in the middle. I think it might have been Stuart Grable that made the block there. And we get a foul called on the Wave. Sandoval looking for a quick restart, chips it up. off the frame. Well, he knew exactly what he was going to do that time and almost converted. That would have been one of the most brilliant quick start, restart goals I think we never would have seen. Robert Renaud gets knocked down, and Robert, who's taken his share of bumps and bangs this year, not very happy. Let's check it out again, the Wisconsin Vision instant replay. Oh my goodness, Edwin Rojas. There was nothing subtle about that.
You're going to take a guy out. That's the way to do it. Not sure how that's not 2 minutes, though.
My goodness. Well, that's a better hit than most NFL linebackers put on the ball carriers these days. Here's Osvaldo Rojas. And now Drew Gall at midfield. They work it back to him. Number 97, the rookie out of American International College in Springfield, Massachusetts. He's a Massachusetts native.
Well, for a team on just a couple hours of sleep, having driven through the night, down 8-1 at the half, Orlando has come out here in the start of the second half and with a nice little spurt.
Yeah, they sure have. Really a bit surprising considering the way the end of the first half went, but give them credit. Coach Tom Traxler and his players, they came here to play, and you got to like that. Bradley to Max. Loses it to Gerson. One thing about Gerson is he's always ready to play, no matter what the circumstance. Marcio lost it as Naranjo has it. But the Wave gets back defensively. Milwaukee led it 4-0 at the end of the first, 8-1 at halftime. And then a quick goal by Osvaldo Rojas, 53 seconds in the third period, has made it an 8-2 game.
I mentioned before on that previous goal that Rojas had received the ball in option one, and option one would be that width of the penalty area.
Shot on the far side, taken by Mota, and Lemos making the stop there. Orlando continuing to create opportunities here.
Option two would be the areas just outside that width, and then option three is in the corner, which is where you see most target players receive the ball in option three.
Again, that's Heiner Haas in the nets for Orlando here to start the third quarter. First name is spelled R-A-I-N-E-R, but it's pronounced Heiner.
Why is the R pronounced like an H, Tom? I've never heard that before.
I never heard that either. And the only thing I go by is that's what he's being consistently called by the Orlando broadcasters and anybody else. We did call him Reiner, and I thought there was confirmation that last year when he played for Cedar Rapids.
It definitely is Heiner.
But it's Heiner.
Well, I never understood how Hewerton Morera was pronounced Everton. H-E-W-E-R-T-O-N, Everton. But, well, hey.
And I forget who it was. Maybe it was Michael King one time who said, yeah, did you see the score from the EPL? Ewerton actually won a game, and of course he was talking about Everton. LSL. Fires a shot just wide. Renaud trying to keep the rebound. It comes out. Vega with a crack that's off the mark. Deflects over LSO. Up above the goal. Good effort there by number 8. And we have reached almost the midway point. We will take our media timeout here. Wave leading it 8-2. We will keep it right here.
Speaking of Kinger, Tom, I saw Kinger down at halftime, down below. Still fit as a fiddle.
There's a guy, seriously, if you put a uniform on him, I don't think he'd look out of place if you put him right on the field now. The guy is always in phenomenal shape. Absolutely.
One of the fans said to him, they said, Sir Alex Bradley of the Wave is a young man, young Michael King. And Kinger looked at him and said, oh, I'm sorry, but I don't have the tattoos.
The Wave would like to thank Miter USA for providing today's match balls. Miter, founded in Huddersfield, England, is among the world's oldest sporting goods brands, starting production in 1817. Miter is a proud sponsor of the Major Arena Soccer League, providing arena-specific match balls to both the MASL and MASL2. The MASL and Miter share a long-term vision to see arena soccer grow in North America. Miter's Astro Division ball is the official game ball for MASL League play. Miter's Astro Division is designed specifically for play on artificial surfaces, and it features a more accurate flight than the average ball and has a 30% reduced bounce to make it play more efficiently in arena soccer. Also want to remind you, you're watching the MASL TV on MASLsoccer.com. Catch some of the most exciting live arena soccer action, archives of every MASL game each week, only on MASL TV. And remember to get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams. Make sure you're following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter. Don't forget, Waves' next game will be right back here at the Panther Arena a week from tomorrow, Sunday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, when they host the St. Louis Ambush in a 105 contest. Call the Wave office for tickets, 414-224-WAVE. You can also order online at MilwaukeeWave.com.
When you were reading the promos, Tom, did you see the Wave honoring Larry Sales there on the field?
Larry Sales, well-deserved honor. The original member of the Milwaukee Wave. 35 years ago when the Wave played its first season in 1984, the 84-85 season.
Remember it like it was yesterday, Tom, as I came rolling into town with the Canton Invaders.
The young Art Kramer and the quickly powerful Invaders, the first dynasty of what was then known as the AISA, the American Indoor Soccer Association. Take a look at this replay here where Vega gets called for the foul. The Wisconsin Vision instant replay right in front of the Wisconsin Vision banner.
Yeah, I came into town and we played at the arena at that time, and still remember we came in for practice and was greeted at the arena door by Louise Au. Louise was the Booster Club president at the time. Had a big hug for me, and 35 years later, still get hugs from Louise quite often.
Yeah, absolutely. Louise, one of the best of all time. Her and her late husband, Dave, two outstanding members of the Wave Booster Club. Lemos able to stop Elmo Neto on a breakaway opportunity there. Oh, Josh again coming up with another big save. He has really been in the groove as of late. Ruggles coming in, tried to move it across. He was looking for Bennett at the far post. Broke it up, and here comes Edwin Rojas back the other way. With Orlando showing some fatigue. They're not showing much of it right now, keeping the pace going here. And that's what I said, Art. I give them credit because they showed up to play today. Could have easily just packed it in and tried to hang in there for a low-scoring victory or loss, but they showed up to play today, and all the credit to them.
Josh Lemos definitely in the running for goalkeeper of the year. I got to think it's between him and Boris Pardo at this point. Pardo 15-1.
Yeah, those are your top two. Pardo having a tremendous year, backstopping the Sockers of San Diego. And off the ball, we got a foul called against Orlando.
You mentioned Danny Waltman, who had undefeated season with over 10 wins. Danny, quite the guitar player, by the way, Tom.
I've heard that. I haven't heard any of Danny's works, but
yeah, he's been a few Facebook Live sessions that he's had lately. My youngest daughter, Kayla, 5 years old, is Danny Waltman playing tonight, Dad? Like, no, he might be playing the guitar though. Well, she said that's what I mean. Is he playing the guitar on Facebook? So we'll check it out and see if Danny's going to have a little show for you.
Danny has been injured soccer-wise for the past several games. Sonaldo has been manning the nets for the Stars. Boy, how about Sonaldo coming off the inactive list, professional inactive list anyway, and he jumped right in there like he's been playing the last several years. I'm trying to think the last time before this year. He has not played in at least 2 or 3 seasons before jumping back into this year, as we have a blue card coming out against Orlando. First penalty of the contest, and it's going to come as Stuart Grable. And there's Oswaldo Rojas.
Yeah, not sure what's up with the Rojas brothers here, or the Rojas boys. I should say, not the brothers.
And
how are you going to argue that?
My goodness. That's the kind of stuff you see on Ring of Honor Wrestling. That forearm chop right there. There's a look at Grable, the Neenah, Wisconsin native who played his college soccer at UWGB. Boy, it's Waldo. That was pretty heinous there. He gets the first penalty of the contest, and it comes at 9:53 of the third period. So Wave goes on the power play first time. Wave's had a pretty good power play this year, especially as of late. Milwaukee 13 of 29 at 45%. Orlando's been decent at penalty killing, 55%. They've stopped 17 of 31. Ian Bennett walking in, looking for the hat trick, rolls it just wide. Orlando with the only goal of this period thus far. That was Oswaldo Rojas, the man in the booth, scoring it 53 seconds into the period. LSO quarterbacking the power play here. Chino moves it across. Bennett slides it to Max Ferdinand, shot and a goal. Wow, they did that just like a drill in practice. It's 9-2 Milwaukee.
What I love about this power play is the way the Wave backed the Orlando defense up. They kept coming and coming and coming. Had them all the way backed up in their own penalty area, but still were able to find Ferdinand at the back post. See so many teams nowadays, Tom, play the ball around the outside on the perimeter, but they don't ever back the defense down. The Wave with a clinic right there and backing the other team's man-down team back towards their own goal.
Max with his second of the afternoon, his 11th of the year. Ian Bennett gets his second assist, 8th of the year. And, you know, for so many years, it's been Max setting up Ian. And we've seen last couple of games, Ian turning the trick, flipping the script as he set up Max for a couple of goals. 9-2, Wave leads it. So the first goal scored against Heiner House since he entered the game at halftime for the SeaWolves. One other game going on in the MASL this afternoon. It's up in Mississauga where the Metro Stars are battling the Harrisburg Heat. We'll try and see if we can give you some updates there.
Who you got in that one, Tom? Gotta like the Heat, huh?
Gotta like the Heat. They've been playing a lot better. I tell you, Pat Healy got the Heat looking a lot more potent these days. And a lot of home games left, 6 home games left for the Heat. So perhaps they can get back in that playoff race in the Eastern Division. But it would require beating Baltimore and Utica a couple of times down the stretch. Those are the 2 division leaders out east. Nice job there by Alex Bradley to send it up. Ricardinho pressuring the keeper, House, and he almost caused a turnover there. Boy, great hustle by Ricardinho. You never know, this was a 7-goal difference. The way Ricardinho was hustling out there.
Not the best touch that time by Heiner House. You said that penalty before to Rojas was heinous, Tom. How do you spell that? R-E-I-N-O-U-S? Still not sure how R-A-N-I-E-R is Heiner. Maybe heinous is R-E-I-N-O-U-S. And I know something's the matter.
Speaking of Rojas, he was trying to post up. Wave knocked it away, and Robert Renault, a little gimpy right there. Boy, Robert has really had a tough season as far as getting banged around, especially on that ankle. He did a great job to come back from the ACL injury, which knocked him out of the lineup the second half of last season. But,
you know, that's at the part of the season, too, and you're right, Tom, and with these injuries that the Wave has had, I think in a game like this, you see something like that. Nice save there by Lemos, but you see something like that. If you're Giuliano Oliviero, as he comes off, you just say, all right, we're shutting you down for the rest of this one.
Yeah, we'll have to see. That would not be surprising. Andre Hayne called for the foul there.
Just want to be careful managing your guys here the remainder of the season and still keep your eye on that best record in the league prize.
Again, the Wave is going to not only clinch a playoff spot, but clinch the division title with a victory here today. This will put them at 16-3 if they hang on to win, and Orlando, the best they could finish would be 15-9 if they won the rest of their games after today. Kansas City, the best they can finish is 16-8, but the Wave already has a tiebreaker against them.
Kansas City with a gift wrapped last night for Orlando. 4 restart goals, and 3 of them the wall just totally moving and breaking. And you think after the first goal they would have said, okay, don't move in the wall, but to see 2 more go in against the Comets.
Header across, Grable shot, saved by House. Stewart gets it back. Boy, what a nice header across, I think, by Hayne. Oh, Ian Bennett in the bid for the hat trick, and again denied by House. So Heiner coming up with a couple of big saves there.
Heiner sticking out the left hand to Rob Bennett.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many of the Comets defenders have seen the movie 10 Commandments, but they were partying like the Red Sea on a couple of those restart situations.
Well, Jim Schwab, the color commentator, said it last night. Why even make a wall if you're going to move? You know, and I always say it, walls don't move. If they're moving, it's better get out of the building.
Bennett was knocked down in midfield, but he kept the play going to Andre Hayne. We have a delayed card coming up against Orlando. And good bit of refereeing that time by Ryan Sigich and Rich Grady. Wave had the advantage, so they let him play it on with the delayed penalty. Sandoval not agreeing, but take a look at it on a Wisconsin Vision instant replay.
Yeah, that's just an awful challenge. Just an awful challenge.
Second penalty of the contest, both against Orlando. This one comes at 14:42 of the third period. It will carry over to the fourth if the Wave does not score before the end of the period. And probably not going to be able to do so now as it comes to Haas, throwing out to midfield. Gino knocks it down, but only 3 seconds left in the period. Bennett will crack one anyway, but off the mark. That'll do it for the third period. Each team bags a goal here in the third. And again, goalkeeper Josh Lemos clapping his hands for the fans and his teammates. We go to the fourth here in Milwaukee. It's the Wave 9, Orlando 2. This is Wave Soccer on MAN.
My life's special moments, they've always had one thing in common. Eyewear from Wisconsin Vision. For over 40 years, Wisconsin Vision has been keeping my world in focus. When it comes to my eyes, there's no one I trust more. Now, it's time for the next generation to learn the Wisconsin Vision tradition.
Call to schedule a $49 eye exam and ask about $100 off a complete pair, frame and lenses. Wisconsin Vision. See more life.
The Ambassador, Milwaukee's landmark Art Deco hotel, is the official hotel of your Milwaukee Wave. Beautifully renovated and seamlessly appointed with every modern comfort. The Ambassador offers a bridge between the city's legendary past and its cosmopolitan present. A stay at the Ambassador is a stay at a warm, gracious home away from home, served by true ambassadors of hospitality. The Ambassador Hotel, the official hotel of your Milwaukee Wave.
Oh, hey, sorry I didn't see you there. Just getting ready for the 2019 Milwaukee Milkmen season. Do you not recognize me yet? Van the Milkman McNeil. And speaking of milkmen, special delivery! The 2019 Milwaukee Milkmen opening season schedule is here. Trust me, it is pro baseball that is utterly different. Family fun for everyone, from different theme nights, delicious food, tasty beverages, and more. Check out the schedule. Get your tickets now at MilwaukeeMilkmen.com.
What did I get from my father? His spirit. I got his warmth, his understanding. What did I learn? His passion for helping others was for me everything I was meant to be.
While every agent's story is different, the promise is still the same. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Pirates and Mermaids theme day today here at Panther Arena, and there's the Chief Pirate, Wave Public Address announcer Van McNeil, getting the crowd hyped up here before we start the fourth quarter. Wave leading the Orlando SeaWolves 9-2. Tom went along with the Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer, and Wave coming off a 5-game road trip in which they went 4-1 to increase their overall record to 15-3 with a 9-2 mark on the road. Very impressive. They will finish up the regular season with 5-6 at home, including this one. So hopefully, Art, a good chance for the Wave to have a pretty good schedule, practice and game schedule, and help everybody as we go toward the postseason to be physically and mentally ready to do the business in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs.
You see Heiner House there make the save. And so we got a little clarification on the whole R and H thing here. Everton sent me a message during the break. And Everton says, the R sounds like an H in Portuguese, okay? And the H is silenced. And then he said, plus he said, my name is sexier without the H. He says, Everton, much sexier than Hewerton. That coming from the man himself, not from me, from him. We thank the St. Louis skipper for tuning in, by the way.
Oh, you got to love Everton for sure. Wave starting the fourth quarter on a power play here after the tripping penalty to Sandoval at 14:42. So they had a minute 42 of man advantage to start the fourth. Ball sent across. Max put it on a dime for Ian Bennett, and the Wave leads it 10-2. Another power play goal for Milwaukee, and Ian's got the hat trick, 34 on the year.
Put it on a dime, put it on a platter, whatever you want to say, man. What a pass that time by Max Ferdinand. Find his buddy, Ian Bennett at the far post. The hat trick for Ian.
Well, the IMAX tandem has combined for so many in the last 3 years since these guys became teammates.
They just keep on keeping on.
And, of course, they had the normal script is just like that. Max setting up Ian for the goal. Of course, they flipped the script the last time. It was Ferdinand getting the goal from Ian. So Max returning the favor to his old buddy there. Ian Bennett now 34 goals this year, Art. And this is now his 10th season with the Milwaukee Wave. 299 goals. He is one short of 300. There have only been 2 men in Wave history to ever reach that mark.
Can I guess?
You can guess.
Michael King, for sure.
Scored 500, just over 500.
Come on, I should know this. Who you got?
Wasn't Coach Oliviero. Wasn't Todd Dusowski. Both in the 200s as members of the Wave. One other West Coast native who had a howitzer of a shot with either foot.
Okay. Greg Haas.
Yes. Vandergrift sets it up. No! No!
Ryan Sigich, the MASL head of officials, right down there on the line, signaled no goal. I thought that one got behind and in.
The entire ball has to cross the entire line. That probably was as close as it gets. But as you said, great position for Sigich. He was looking right on it.
We'll see if our crew downstairs is taking a look at this one.
I got to believe Ian Thompson and company are trying to dig up the film on that one.
They can will that one over the line for us.
Andre Hain turns, trying to come 3-2. Andre fires a shot over the frame. Well, let's check it out.
Remember the whole ball. Definitely wasn't over the line on that shot.
I think this might be it right here. Let's see. Vandergriff.
Oh, I think that's in. Was
Whoa.
it not? Have to slow it down after that ball hits the crossbar.
Got to go frame by frame. Check that one out. Here's Ruggles on the counterattack. Sends it to Max. Max with a shot. Kick saved by House. And Max, great job there to fend off Gerson. Boy, look at Gerson. Team trailing by 8. 11 minutes to go, and he is hustling as much as anything here. That's one of the reasons why he's one of the great players in this league. Vega with a nice move there to keep it. There is no doubt that Kid Dynamite, Gordy Gerson, is worth the price of admission to see him play anytime. Ferdinand trying to set up Marcio. Couldn't do it.
What's Gordy, a Chicago native? Yeah, good kid too.
Rookie of the year back in 2014-15 when he broke into the league with Seattle and St. Louis. Got traded midseason. 46 goals in 23 games, and he served notice. He was going to be a force to be reckoned with in the MASL for years to come, and he certainly has. Oswaldo Rojas trying to look. Oh, my goodness. He cleared Grable out of the way. No call, and Lemos with a scoop up after Alex Bradley made the save behind him.
Bradley in behind him, as you said, with a save off the goal line to keep this one at 10-2. Yeah, you better be ready to get physical if you're playing against Rojas, number 77 right now.
And I think you're right, Art. I don't think he got much well, who did with Orlando last night, but Oswaldo especially, because his disposition today seems rather nasty. Renault trying to muscle his way in. Now will yield for Vandergriff with a shot just wide. LSO with the rebound. Taken away. And here comes Ozzy Rojas.
Boy, if you ever had a chance to retaliate, it would have been right there.
Renault, sliding effort to try to get the wall pass to Bennett and drew the foul on the play. So Robert hopefully okay after he had limped off the field a bit earlier in this period. Foul is called on Edwin Rojas. Both Rojas brothers getting their shots in today against the Wave, that's for sure. All right, free kick coming. Wave trying to see if they can pad their 10-2 advantage. LSO will run over Marcio. Sends it down to LSO. Shot, save, House.
Good read that time by Heiner House, sliding across to his left.
You know, when you put Heiner's numbers up against Sleva, they compare very favorably. House, the second-year Arena Pro, originally from Brazil, but he played his college soccer at Union, Tennessee, which of course is the same school where Guillermo Vega played his college ball. I don't think they were teammates there. I think Guillermo matriculated a few years earlier, but they may have had a year overlap, but I don't think so. Thought I asked him about that one time. Here is Leite drawing a couple of defenders. Shot rejected that time by House. Renault circling to get it. And the SeaWolves play it out as Gerson has it. He draws a foul from Marcio. But coming in today's game, Sleva was 3-3 at 6.55 for the goals against average. House 4-4 at 5.90. House had played 60 more minutes than Sleva did. Again, Sleva was injured the first part of the year. But again, pretty even there. And House has played very well against the Wave. He helped engineer that 7-4 victory down in Orlando back on January 21st. Wave then came up with a 6-2 win over the SeaWolves last weekend in the rematch there. And Orlando will be journeying back to Milwaukee one more time. That will come up on Sunday, March 31st.
Aren't goalkeepers in this league, Tom, allowed to just wear their own kit like they're, they just definitely has to have the logo on it, but they can pick out their own colors and wear that, correct? I mean,
I believe so.
Yeah. It's like House and Sliwa. It's like they just got the orange packaged one that they sent to them, right? That they sent to the team. Like they look exactly the same. Black pants, orange shirt. It's hard to tell them apart.
Remember Heiner last year when he was playing for Cedar Rapids?
Yeah, he wore like a white T-shirt.
Ball cleared out of bounds. We have reached the midway point for our media timeout. So again, Wave back home a week from tomorrow, Sunday, March 17th, St. Patty's Day. Should be some great fun and festivities as we will shamrock the Milwaukee Panther Arena. Wave hosting the Ambush at 105. Contact the Wave office for tickets, 414-224-WAVE. You can also order online at MilwaukeeWave.com. Wave will then be right back here to host the Florida Tropics Saturday, March 23rd at 6:05 p.m. Then after going to St. Louis to play the Ambush on Friday night, March 29th, they'll be back here to host the SeaWolves Sunday, March 31st at 1:05 p.m. And then we'll conclude the regular season on Sunday, April 14th against the Kansas City Comets, 1:05 p.m. So make your plans to get out here, fans. This Wave team playing great. Weather is actually suitable now to get outside the house and travel. My goodness, it seemed like we went from the middle of winter to almost early spring here overnight. And speaking of spring, baseball season right around the corner, Art. MLB season begins end of March. And then American Association season, May 16th, with the Milwaukee Milkmen going to St. Paul to take on the Saints, and then returning for the home opener at Routine Field in Franklin, May 24th against Chicago Dogs. Order your tickets at MilwaukeeMilkmen.com. Great seats available and going fast. And again, looking forward to being out at that ballpark this year in Franklin.
Yeah, can't wait to get out there to see a game or two. It'll mean summer has arrived.
Yes, indeed.
Can't be soon enough. So when does number 9 out in San Diego suit up again?
Well, they are home, I believe, Sunday. Let me double check that, Art. I know they've got a game on a week coming up this Friday. They're hosting Dallas, so he'll be on hand for that one, I'm sure.
The MASL fans have a Facebook page. It's called MASL Off the Wall. Quite entertaining, but I get a kick out of how many fans on that site are saying that this whole thing with Donovan signing with San Diego is just a gimmick. It's just a gimmick. That's why they signed him. It's kind of like, remember when Lindsay played for the Steamers? Lindsay Kennedy, was that her name?
Right.
She's a good player. Was a good player, but that was gimmicky to me.
Well, it was very gimmicky.
Landon Donovan, arguably the best American soccer player to ever play the game, who's still really fit, by the way, can run all day. And people are saying that it's a gimmick that he signed. And then he scored 2 goals and had 2 assists against Turlock, and those same fans were going, well, it was against the worst team in the league. I saw Nick Pereira play against Turlock last night. I'm not sure if he had 2 goals and 2 assists. Okay? So I would say like this. You take a guy like Drew Brees, okay? And let's say he retired after this year. And in a couple of years from now, Drew Brees comes back and plays in the Arena Football League. You think Drew Brees is going to be able to go out and light it up? Of course he is. The same way that Landon Donovan is going to light it up in the MASL as well, because the guy's a tremendous soccer player. And it's fortunate for the rest of the league that Landon Donovan doesn't have a year or two to really acclimate himself to the indoor game, because the guy can play at an extremely high level, and he's shown it in the first 2 games.
Yeah, his learning curve has been fairly quick, and he's acclimated himself quite nicely. And of course, the Sockers, a very prominent team otherwise, all that does is just enhance their depth coming down the stretch here.
And the coolest thing about it, Tom, is the humility and the humbleness that he has demonstrated since he's joined the Sockers.
Well, we don't know Landon personally, but by all accounts, he's always been a very classy guy, a very great ambassador for U.S. soccer, and he's picked it right up there. And again, I thought it was a stroke of genius for the Sockers to sign him. Here's a shot blocked by Bradley, and he's going to get credit for a goal.
Add this one to the list of goalkeeper errors that we've seen today from Orlando. This time, Heiner House just plays a ball straight into Alex Bradley and then behind him into the back of the net. You got 30 yards on each side, right or left, to play a ball. You play it right into the defender in front of you.
So Alex gets his second goal of the afternoon, his 11th of the season, unassisted at 9:53, and the Wave now leads it 11-2.
But you look at this league, Tom, and some of the stuff that's gone on lately. You had the Andre Braithwaite and Derek Huffman incident the other night where both players ended up getting suspended a couple games. You had Dos Santos with Baltimore and Bo Yelovak, and some of the ridiculous stuff that's happening.
Marcio with a pass to Ian Bennett with a shot just wide. Marcio gets the rebound. Marcio, a couple of step overs, lays it across. Ian Bennett. No, and kick saved out of play by House. So Heiner responding to the challenge there. Boy, that looked like Bennett had number 4 of the afternoon in his sights. Great stop there by House.
But talking about some of those incidents that has happened, and then you look at Landon Donovan, and a guy, once again, who's come into this league, didn't need to, but it's come into this league saying things like, man, I got a lot to learn about the game. Really just a humble approach, and the professionalism that he's demonstrated is really refreshing for this league.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Hopefully some of these guys can take a cue from that.
Absolutely.
But again, for the most part, I would say that the MASL has been stocked with pretty good guys most of the time.
Oh, no question about it. I don't want to take away from what a lot of players have done in this league. No question about it.
And again, not just good players and good citizens on the field, but off the field as well. It's ironic. We're talking about how to pronounce Everton, the coach of St. Louis, how to pronounce his name with the Heiner House discussion. And Landon Donovan's EPL experience took place with Everton. Now Milwaukee 3-2 as the SeaWolves got back. Worked over to Vega, who cranks one up with the right foot. Guilherme, primarily a left footer, but I'll tell you what, he can smack the ball with the right foot. That was a great crack there that was just off the mark as Elmo Neto called for the foul.
A lot of people have picked or booked San Diego and Milwaukee in the final, but as I was talking about earlier in the game, Tom, you get into these playoff series, and let's say it's Milwaukee, Kansas City in the first round. Not it's going to be an easy task for the Wave.
LSO trying to get out of trouble there now. Guilherme plays it across. Robert Renault. Robert will turn, push upfield. On the wing, Grable. Oh, great pass across to Ferdinand. How about Max with a hat trick? 12-2 Milwaukee.
How many tonight, Tom, at the back post? Over and over, goal after goal. The Wave finding the open player at the back post for a tap-in.
Well, they always say if you're a forward or midfielder, get to the back post. Heck, if you're a defender as well, that's your best chance to score, and they've certainly shown it today. Boy, what a play by Grable.
Sliding pass by Grable that time. Nothing House could do about that one.
And Max Ferdinand with the hat trick today. Be great if somebody had a full 90 they could flip on the field for him. I think Max is still the only guy in the league, right, that wears one of those?
Yeah. The field littered with full 90 headgear.
That would be sensational. 12-2 Milwaukee. And it's been pretty much all way from the start of this one. Robert Renaud kicked off the scoring at 7:01 of the first period. And Wave led it 4-0 at the end of 8-1 at halftime. And they have put on a show today for this crowd at Panther Arena. Again, all credit to the crowd here today. You know, we talked about the Marquette game going on just down the block. That's obviously drawing a lot of attention and a lot of traffic. The St. Patrick's Day parade downtown, which was tying up roads, that parade started at noon. And so again, you know, the fans who had to work their way to get out here today, give them all credit for sure. And I can guarantee a lot of them will be back after seeing today's performance of the Wave, and their next chance is going to be a week from tomorrow, Sunday, March 17th, which really is St. Patrick's Day, when the Wave hosts the St. Louis Ambush at 105. Call the Wave office for tickets, 414-224-WAVE, and you can also order online at MilwaukeeWave.com.
So if the playoffs started tomorrow, Tom, it would be Milwaukee, Kansas City, correct? Baltimore, Utica.
Correct.
Who else you got? San Diego would be facing who?
Tacoma right now.
Tacoma, right? Nick Pereira, what a season he's had as the player coach for Tacoma.
Running away with the scoring race, 57 points. Leo Gibson from Kansas City, number 2 with 45. Ian Bennett creeping back into it. Ian with a 5-point day today. He's got 42, but yeah, it looks like Nick.
And Nick, who played here in Milwaukee for quite some time, his composure on the ball, I mean,
unbelievable.
Man, he has gotten stronger, bigger, and he is just composed on the ball as you could be.
And he has to be the greatest ball handling 6'2" or over player I have ever seen in arena soccer.
And then the other one would be Monterey and RGV, correct? Man, I tell you what, you talk about some great playoff matchups right there. I think San Diego would definitely be a pretty big favorite in that one, but everybody else.
Ricardinho wants to get in on the action today, and he buries it to make it 13-2.
Little Ricky, as you said, getting into the action as well. Beats Sandoval down the field. House with those hands down. Wasn't able to get him up in time. And the onslaught continues. Certainly Milwaukee would be a big favorite over Kansas City in that first round as well, based upon what we've seen this season. But you and I, Tom, have seen too many Milwaukee-Kansas City series over the year.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And if it does turn out to be that, as far as the first round matchup is concerned, that would be the 8th time in 9 years that the Wave and Comets have met in the playoffs. So really turning out to be the greatest postseason rivalry of arena soccer in this century.
Well, the nightmare almost over here for Tom Traxler and his Orlando SeaWolves players.
Go ahead, Art.
Credit to him, though. Tough road trip. Got a victory in Kansas City. Tough travel night.
Yeah, and again, like I said, give them credit because they showed up to play today and put on a good show for the fans. So, yeah, all credit for sure to the SeaWolves. Still definitely not out of the playoff chase. We'll see how things turn out between them and St. Louis and Kansas City, because all three of those teams are very much alive. How about the Milwaukee Wave, though? Clinching a playoff spot again for the 5th consecutive year in the MASL. And remember, they have only missed the playoffs one time since the 93-94 season. So they clinched the playoffs, clinched the division title, and a great campaign for the Wave thus far, but hopefully still a lot more of it to come. And so we look forward to a great rest of the season. And And again, Art, if the Wave can stay healthy, they've got as good a chance as anybody to win this whole shebang.
And they've got it going on in all facets. Really, the only thing we didn't get to see much of tonight was the restarts. Not a whole high volume of them, but goalkeeping, Josh Lemos, outstanding. Team defense, outstanding. Their offense clicking on all cylinders today. Power play looks really good. You hear the old saying, Tom, defense wins championships, and I've always said, no, you need more than just defense. You got to be able to be good in all three facets of the game, offense, defense, and special teams, and the Wave looks very proficient in all those areas.
Comprehensive effort for Coach Giuliano Oliviero and company today. Stick around as we're going to stand by with public address announcer Van McNeil for our PCI hardest working player of the game. Got a lot of prospects today. Max Ferdinand with a hat trick and an assist. Ian Bennett with 4 goals and assists. Ricardinho, by the way, picked up his 5th goal of the season on that score with 40 seconds left to go to account for our final margin here today. The Wave 13, Orlando 2, a season high 13 goals for the Milwaukee Wave. So just a great effort all around. And Wave still with 4 more home games left, 4 of the remaining 5 regular season games here at the arena. Call the Wave office for tickets and make your reservations now to be here for the playoffs. Wave is qualified for the playoffs and clinch the South Central Division title with the victory here today. 414-224-WAVE. You can also check it out at MilwaukeeWave.com. Let's send it down to Van McNeil.
As you heard the news, your Milwaukee Wave have clinched the Major Arena Soccer League South Central Division. Milwaukee Wave South Central Division champions, you know it, baby. We're going to the playoffs. All right, Alex Bradley, Ian Bennett, Max Ferdinand, get on over here. We'll begin with our all-state save of the game. Normally, we'd be talking to Josh Lemos. He played an outstanding game today, only gave up 2 goals. But this man, in an effort, this team is playing some mad defense. Let's take a look at this save first. Josh, it just went past Josh. You were there. An amazing save at the right place at the right time. Great game today, Alex.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to get on the score sheet as always, but helping out on defense too. You know, every now and then, like I see the other team breaking us down, and I just go back to the goal line, and it happens in practice too sometimes. And yeah, gotta be there sometimes.
That seems to be a big focus this year, playing on both sides of the ball. Thanks for playing some monster defense today, Alex.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
All right, Alex Bradley, Sir Alex Bradley, and our All-State save of the game. Now, we featured them and our players to watch. A tag team duo. You got Tom and Jerry. You got Thelma and Louise. You got Max. You got Ian. Players of the game, between the both of you, 9 points tonight. Good stuff tonight, gentlemen. Let's start with Maxie.
Hey, like I said, it's a team effort. Obviously, me and Ian get all the praise, but there are a lot of guys doing the work. Bradley, the guys that don't come on the stat sheets, but they put in the work. We just got to keep it going. Obviously, thanks for you guys coming out. We appreciate the support. Thank you very much.
All right, Max Ferdinand, number 24. And then Captain. Captain Ian Bennett. What a season. What a game. Another hat trick today. You're a monster, sir.
No, it's these guys, man. I just do my part. Everyone's got their position, and they do their part. But defensively, we're sharp. The team's looking really good. Training's been fantastic. And obviously, in front of us, we finally get some home-cooked meals. We're with our fans. We get to do our thing. So we had to put on a show tonight, and I think we did.
A big win tonight. We're going to the playoffs. It's got to mean something to clinch the South Central Division here in a very competitive Major Arena Soccer League.
Yeah, and I think it's always good to clinch early and at home too, so the fans can hang their hats on that, because with them, it's huge. But also, we're not done yet. We're still hungry. We're still trying to eat, you know, and we're gonna do it.
All right, Ian Bennett, your player of the game. Max Ferdinand, your player of the game. Alex Bradley with a monster save. It was a great game today, and we are off to the playoffs. Get out of here, Ian. Go. He needs to go back to the locker room, and we need to get you more information. Tickets and more at MilwaukeeWave.com. Stay tuned for playoff dates and all of that. MilwaukeeWave.com. On behalf of the entire crew here at UW Milwaukee Panther Arena, as we look at a scoring summary to wrap up our game here. Final score, Milwaukee Waves 13, the Orlando SeaWolves 2. My name is Van McNeil. For Scott Johnson, Charlie Wise, Mike Jakubowski, Michelle Ozarski, and the entire crew here, have a good night. We'll see you next week.